And now, the main news on Radio Chingadoo, brought to you by Moose Milling and Zambia Catholic University.
Radio Chingaloo, restoring everything in Christ with love and truth. Good afternoon with the main news. I'm Kennedy Bro Jr. Kindly be informed that we are also streaming live on the Radio Chingaloo Facebook page and our YouTube channel. The headlines. All is set for tomorrow's seminarian fund presentation. 3 illegal miners die in Luansha. Police to offer spiritual support to members of the community. The details. All is set for tomorrow's seminarian fund presentation slated from Kana Stadium in Kitwe. Kana Jinari is hosting the event. A visit to the venue this morning by a Radio Chingaloo news crew found works are progressing smoothly, with a number of priests and the religious faithful lending a hand. And Dean of Nkana Jinari, Father Alexander Chimpusa, has been speaking to Radio Chingaloo News about the preparations. He says all are welcome. All are welcome, but cautioned that those to attend the event must observe the health guidelines on COVID-19.
Prepared for ahead of today, but today is the peak. This is the event is tomorrow, so we are set. We are ready for the event. All the women are welcome. The stadium is big enough to accommodate everybody. Of course, adhering to the social distancing thing, the coronavirus guidelines, and that we'll have to observe. And so people must come out here in numbers, but masking up as well, washing their hands and maintaining those distances from each other.
And Catholic Women's Organization CWO Nkana Jinari chairperson Matilda Tsunka says it was exciting for Nkana to host the event, especially that it has been coupled with the bishop's familiarization tour.
Tomorrow's function, which is a seminarian presentation, it's an annual event. It's quite a tedious event, but very exciting at the same time. The women have come together. We are working from different parishes. We are all here from Ola, we have from Sacred Heart, from Episcopal, St. Peter's, and then we have from St. Blessed Annuality and St. Matthew's. We have got different tasks to do. But all in all, things are on course. As you can see, the marquees are in place, the priests are on the ground. Oh, it's quite exciting. Can the women come in numbers, please? Today,
The Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA has suspended and revoked licenses of 25 clearing and forwarding agents for forgery, false declarations, and smuggling. These cases could have resulted in revenue loss of 6.5 million kwacha. ZRA says the move is aimed at strengthening the authority's momentum towards tax compliance and zero tolerance to fraud and corruption. The authority says smuggling of goods through false declarations, forgery, transit fraud, misclassifications, underdeclarations, undervaluations rather, is a serious offense as offenders would be dealt with in accordance with the law. ZRA has since warned all clearing agents to desist from engaging themselves in the above highlighted cases in order to avoid having their licenses revoked. This is according to a statement issued by ZRA Acting Corporate Communications Manager Robert Zawe. To Luansha now, 3 illegal miners have died in a road accident that occurred in Luansha near the Copper Slag Dump. Luansha Member of Parliament Stephen Chungu said the 3 unidentified deceased male youths were with 25 other people when the truck they were in overturned this morning. And Mr. Chungu has regretted the continued deaths of youths involved in illegal mining activities in Luansha.
So we lost 3 youths in the same mining area of Black Mountain, and the truck that were on 10, and 3 youths out of the 28 that were on board and passed away. Their bodies are in the mortuary to today as I speak. We should be mourning with the families of departed. It's quite unfortunate. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had to send off another youth that passed on in the same area.
Inspector General of Police Kakuma Kanganja says the police service is determined to offer spiritual support to members of the community. Speaking when he graced the induction ceremony of 90 officers from various parts of the country to the position of chaplains held at Camping Saturday, the IG also bemoaned reports of officers taking their own lives, corruption, indiscipline, among other bad vices. Mr. Kanganja also implored the chaplains to be good clergymen and women who would not only maintain law and order but also offer spiritual support to the country.
And sense of responsibility to self-care officers members of the public, offering spiritual, moral, and emotional support. It is for this reason that my office has authorized the deployment of chaplains to all the divisions of the village. Go up there, encourage adherence, word of God, who daily devotions, teach officers areas such as case management, ethics, respect for human rights, and addressing spiritual, moral, and faith needs.
Speaking earlier, Zambia Police Head of Chaplaincy, Bishop Kondwani Sakala, urged the officers to be courageous and overcome challenges.
The level of willingness on our part to be second, and therefore ask you to be strong as you do your work, because the field may never be so perfect. No, while you are there, we encourage you to serve God and this great nation, because this is what you have chosen to do.
And speaking in a vote of thanks on behalf of all the newly inducted officers, Sergeant Pascalina Nachula pledged to provide spiritual counseling to the people.
As chaplains, to put in effort, even in our quest to fulfilling our major objective of maintaining law and order in the Republic of Zambia. The chaplains unit is now everywhere in all police divisions, thereby providing much needed counseling services, not only to our fellow police officers, but their families and the surrounding communities at large. We thank the police command and division police commanders for the support they are offering to officers under chaplain community.
Moving on, a Catholic priest is challenging Christians not to let worldly possessions and talents supersede their desire for Christ. Father Benedictine Andwe, parish priest of Our Lady of Africa and Radio Chingu, Chief Executive Officer, said Christians should strive to desire Christ by their way of living that should reflect the cross of Jesus, which is a symbol of love. Father Ngandwe further encouraged the Christians to ensure that they enrich their spiritual life. He said this when he celebrated Mass with the Radio Chingu members of staff at St. George Chapel this morning.
People both what people both even of what the education what and they'll spend a lot of time. But spiritual, you are bankrupt. Spiritually, you are bankrupt, and this is dangerous. And then when you become bankrupt, you have no integrity, you have no moral. Because the sons of this world, they are wiser because they know how to deal and to do with their faith. But people, not because they want to. Some are generous, not because they want to. Some are kind, but they want certain things. You have to be kind.
The Drug Enforcement Commission says in the third quarter of 2020 concluded 1,008 drug-related cases from a total of 1,089 commenced investigations, which resulted in 1,260 arrests and 300 convictions. And the Commission says in the third quarter of 2020, it handled a total or 1,389 intelligence reports, out of which 1,089 investigations were commenced, and a total of 86 juveniles were also arrested, comprising 2 females and 84 males aged between 12 and 17 years, showing a slight increase in the number of juveniles arrested compared to the second quarter, where only 58 juveniles were arrested countrywide. Of the total number of persons arrested, 14 were foreign nationals, while 1,246 were Zambians. This is according to a statement issued by DEC Public Relations Officer Teresa Katongo. Let's look at how the Kwacha is performing with other convertible major currencies. At Cabmont, the US dollar is buying at 20 Kwacha 58 Ingwe and selling at 20 Kwacha 97 Ingwe, while the UK pound is buying at 27 Kwacha 1 Ingwe and selling at 27 Kwacha 52 Ingwe. South African rand is buying at 1 Kwacha 31 Ngwe and selling at 1 Kwacha 34 Ngwe, while the euro is buying at 24 Kwacha 35 Ngwe and selling at 24 Kwacha 81 Ngwe. Note that rates may change anytime according to market conditions. In sports, Nkana striker Ronald Sate Kampamba says the FAS Super Division champions will recover after starting the season with a loss and a draw. Nkana on Wednesday forced a goalless draw against Lumwana Radiants in Usahile after Saturday's 2-0 loss to Forest Rangers in Ndola. Kampamba said Nkana have started improving. Sate has told journalists that Nkana would have beaten Lumwana had the referee not disallowed his goal for the alleged offside. And coach Patrick Peary said he was pleased with the performance of his team against Nkana. Still in sports, Polo coach Milutin Sredojevic has unveiled a 26-member provision squad ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier match against Botswana. Mitchell has included South Africa-based Augustine Mlenga and Justin Shonga, the players who did not have enough game time at their previous club, Orlando Pirates. He has, however, maintained most of the players he used during the friendly matches. Goalkeepers include Lamek Siame, Alan Chiwe, Sebastian Mwange, and Jackson Kakunta. Defenders are Benson Sakala, Kondwan Chiboni, Zakaria Chilongoshi, Tandi Mwape, Luka Banda, and Dominic Chanda. Midfielders include Enoch Mwepu, Klings Kangwa, Kelvin Kapumbu, Leonard Mlenga, and Chaniza Zulu. In the striking force, Mitchell has called Kelvin Mwanga, Evans Kangwa, Collins Sikombe, Lubambo Msonda, Gampan Lungu, Emmanuel Chabula, Amit Chamende, and Bruce Musakanya. Others are Fashion Sakala, Augustine Mlenga, and Justin Chonga. This news broadcast comes to you in the community service of Radio Chengelo with compliments of Mos Mailing and the Zambia Catholic University. And now, international news as monitored from the BBC. The Ethiopian military and officials in the northern Tigray region are accusing each other of instigating a war that has seen fighting between government soldiers and troops loyal to the regional administration. The deputy chief of Ethiopia's army, Birhanu Jula, said on state television that they were working to ensure that the conflict did not spread from Tigray to the rest of the country. He described the conflict as senseless and said it had begun unexpectedly. Burkina Faso's President Roch Kabore has launched his re-election campaign and promised to deal with the terrorist threat facing the country. He faulted his opponents for making terrorism a campaign issue. Burkina Faso is part of the Sahel region that has been facing an Islamist insurgency. And finally, Donald Trump and Joe Biden have each other addressed the American people. Trump asserts he has won the election through votes, though votes are still being counted. Joe Biden has insisted that the vote counting process is working properly. The BBC has more.
Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Postal votes, which are still being tallied in large numbers, are favoring Joe Biden, with the former vice president edging slightly ahead in some of the crucial counts. There's been no acknowledgement from Mr. Trump that the reason his rival is picking up many of these votes is that he encouraged Republican voters to cast their ballots in person on election day, while Mr. Biden, because of the coronavirus pandemic, urged his supporters to vote by post.
And on that note, we end this afternoon's main news. For these and more stories, feel free to visit our Facebook page, log on to Facebook and like the Radio Chinglo page and link to radiochinglo.radio12345.com. You can still listen to the rebroadcast of the news on our YouTube channel. You can also listen to Radio Chinglo on Radio Garden. COVID-19 is still real. As of today, 49 new cases have been recorded. Therefore, wear a mask when in public, avoid large groups and maintain social distance, avoid unnecessary movements. So wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Kennedy Mbewa Jr. We have the news summary coming your way at 16 hours. Thank you very much for listening, and keep on listening to your number one broadcaster, Radio Chinglo, the light of the Copper Belt.